All right, and we are back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast. And for the second part of the show, we are now going to talk about Damian Lillard of the Bucks being ruled out indefinitely with a blood clot, and basically has the same thing that Victor Wembanyama has, but only it's in his leg and not in his shoulder. But Dame has been out recently, but it was being called a calf strain. And then it was reported that is indeed a blood clot, and yeah, diagnosed with DVT, deep vein thrombosis, which is what Victor Wembanyama has that in his right calf. So he's going to be ruled out indefinitely, and immediately is being put on blood thinning medication. He last played on March 18th, and like I said, it was deemed that it was a calf strain, but it's now more than that. Now, it doesn't seem like he has been ruled out completely for the season because, with Wemby, they said right away, yeah, he's out for the year. They just have Dame ruled out indefinitely. So there is, I guess, a small chance that, if the Bucks make a deep playoff run, that he could come back. So we'll have to wait and see if that does end up happening. Now, the team with Dame this year, they're 32-26, and then they're 8-5 when he doesn't. And there's going to be guys that have to step up in his absence. Obviously, you still have Giannis. So even with Dame being out, you still got one of the best players in the league. But some of the other role players are going to have to step up. Kyle Kuzma, who they traded for, they traded Chris Middleton away. They got Kuzma, Kevin Porter Jr. as well. Brooke Lopez, who of course has been there for a while. So yeah, they are gonna have to step up while Dame is out. And I mean, I my guess is he probably isn't gonna come back at all, but I could be wrong. But even with Dame, I probably still wouldn't have had the Bucks going all the way because who's at the top of the Eastern Conference right now. But this is what Damian Lillard said in a statement. He said, "It's unfortunate that something outside of my control would come up. Along with the Bucks medical staff, our priorities are to protect my health and safety. As much as I love basketball, I need to be there for my kids and my family. I'm grateful the Bucks acted quickly on this. They've been supportive and proactive throughout this process. I look forward to moving past this and continuing my career." So that's a statement from Damian Lillard. And had a disappointing first year with the Bucks in many people's eyes, but this year, I mean, he was doing pretty good. He was averaging just about 25 points per game, 4.7 rebounds per game, 7.1 assists. But yeah, that is a big loss. And we take a look now at where the Bucks currently are in the Eastern Conference standings. They're currently at the 5. They're 40-31 on the season. They're actually tied with the Pistons right now. So there's a scenario where the Pistons could pass them, and the Bucks are suddenly the 6th seed. And I don't see anybody from the play-in finishing in the top 6. What you have right now in the play-in, at the Hawks, the Magic, the Bulls, and the Heat, that's what's going to end up happening. And speaking of the Heat, Jimmy Butler in his return last night, it didn't go so well. The Heat ended up winning 112-86. Now, they didn't have Steph Curry last night, the Warriors, but Butler went 5 of 12, over 2 from 3, only had 11 points. And actually, all 5 starters for the Heat scored in the double digits. So, yeah, the Warriors kind of, after that hot start with Butler, they've kind of lost now a couple of games. Actually, yeah, they've lost 2 in a row. So, but they got to get Curry back. But back to the Bucks, though. I mean, this hurts their chances of making a deep playoff run, in my opinion. And like I said, not to say that I think they were going to, because I just think when you look at the Eastern Conference, it's top heavy. The 2 best teams are the top 2 seeds, the Cavs and the Celtics. And the Cavs have a 38-8 conference record this year. They've won 58 games. It's going to come down to the Celtics and the Cavs. Could we see, like right now, the Bucks, they're the 5th seed. They're matching up against the Pacers. Last year they played against the Pacers in the first round and they lost. Pacers are a good team. That's not going to be an easy first round series. Now, if they slide down to the 6, well, now they go up against the Knicks. And the Knicks are going to be healthy because you're going to get Jalen Brunson back. Sorry, I just knocked over stuff I have on my desk here. But, yeah, I'm knocking it over in frustration because of Brunson being hurt. But Brunson actually is supposed to be back soon. I mean, the injury that he suffered, that was something that, was not going to keep him out the rest of the year, which best news for the Knicks. So, yeah, I mean, could the Bucks advance and make it to the second round? Yeah, I think that's, right now, in my opinion, that's their ceiling, is they are a second round exit. But you never know. You never know. This is an experienced team. And, like I said, you got Giannis, so anything is possible. But, yeah, I just think that's their ceiling at this point is the second round. But, yeah, this is a big loss. And, it's scary. Because now this is the second time this has happened to a player in this many months. And, we talked about, the Wembanyama blood clot situation. But, it's happened to players. And, for some, they end up having to retire because of it. Now, there's no indication of that with Damian Lillard. I mean, when I read his statement, he's coming back at some point. Whether it's this year, which I think we could rule that out. Well, at least I'm going to rule it out. But there's next year. He's coming back next year. You worry more about Wemby because he's a different kind of build. So, but it's scary, like I said. And we talked about Chris Bosh, when I talked about Wembanyama's and, how he had to retire, so it's tough. But thankfully, like Lillard said in the statement, Bucks acted quickly. And, hopefully he comes back from it, which he is going to. So, yeah, that's the news on Damian Lillard. Looking at some of the NBA action for tonight. Actually, we'll take a look at last night's. But tonight, the Bucks will be taking on the Nuggets in Denver. They're 6-point underdogs, so that's going to be a tough game for them. You got the Lakers and the Pacers tonight. That's a good game. The Knicks and the Clippers, that's at the Garden. And then you also have the Celtics taking on the Suns as well later tonight. And then also you got the Wizards and the 76ers and the Raptors and the Nets. But some pretty good games on tonight in the NBA. And then last night, we did talk about the Heat defeating the Warriors 112-86. No Steph Curry once again. The Pistons defeated the Spurs. Magic over the Hornets. The Knicks winning 128-113 over the Mavericks. I think Anthony Davis played. No, he did not play. Never mind. I lied. But yeah, Knicks win that one. Grizzlies win 140-103 over the Jazz. Cavs 122-111 over the Trailblazers. And then the Thunder get their 60th win last night. They win 121-105. So those are the scores from last night. I went over the games for today. But we're almost in April. Playoffs are right around the corner in the NBA. But let me know what you guys think, though, about Damian Lillard's injury. Do you think it's possible he comes back? Or do you think the next time we see him, it's going to be next year? And how far do you think the Bucks can go in the playoffs despite him being out? Like I said, I think they're going to go to the second round. That's their ceiling. That's their ceiling. Now, if they're playing against the Knicks, well, I kind of want them to get knocked out before that. But I do think they could advance at least one round. That's my thoughts. So before we go to break, I just want to remind you guys once again to tip or donate and get your comments recognized. Make sure to hit that super chat button in the chat if you want to see me acknowledge any thought or comment you may have throughout the live broadcast. Makes the show more lively, more entertaining between myself, the host, and you guys, the viewers. We appreciate you guys' viewership each and every day, so any contribution you can make to the show means the world to us as we put out content for you guys each and every day. And also, the other way to help out the show is by going to the link at the bottom of the show segment on the ticker, GSMCPodcast.net. That is GSMCPodcast.net. And tomorrow we'll begin the Sweet 16 in college basketball. So we will go over those games tomorrow as well. A big college basketball weekend coming up. 4 very good games tomorrow. That starts later in the day, depending on where you are. That starts at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So we'll go over those games tomorrow. We'll recap the NBA action from tonight. But also, it's a big baseball day tomorrow as well. As opening day is tomorrow. And we will go over that. And we will go over the pitching matchups. Yeah, we'll go over the pitching matchups as well as my National League predictions as well. So when we come back from our next break, we will go back to the NFL. We will talk about now Stephon Diggs signing with the New England Patriots. We will talk about the impact of that move, if that's a good fit. How do I feel about the deal? We will get into all of that when we come back from our next break. So, with that being said, make sure to stick around, and we'll be right back here on the GSMC Sports Podcast.